Everyone, welcome back for the third episode for Chart.js. Now for this video, I am going to show you how to display the data to the canvas. So let's go ahead and do this together. So we're gonna have to unpack the data that we get from um, our data service in the previous video tutorial. Now let's revisit what I have right here. So if you go to okay, and it's going to be this. So right here, recall that we have these data arrays. The first element is for x-axis. This is for y-axis, and this is maximum value. We are not using this right now. We are going to use the first two right here. Okay, so this is what we want to do. So we're gonna say I also have reference for you here just in case that you need it right here, okay, on the left hand side. So this is what we're gonna do. We say, hey, we're gonna have the label of the data. I'm going to call x data. That will be equal to the data itself of the first element, and y data, which is the second element here. Now once this is done, we're gonna have to form the new objects called graph data will be equal to the objects. Now this is very important to look at this carefully. The first information that it needs for this object is label, so that x label will refer to x data, okay, the array of the data. Now the second piece of information will be data set, which is the array. All right, now that arrays contain a set of objects. Now since we only have one graph in here, we do not have like many line graph, okay, in one canvas, so we're gonna have just one object. Now for this object here, we're gonna have information of the label for these objects. Now don't be confused with this label. This label is inside the graph itself, so I'm going to call say test. Okay, now the data will be for the y-axis data from here, and we also need to tell whether or not you want to fill your graph. So I'm going to set as true. Also, you can set up the background color. Background color needs to be in the array format as well. So it's going to be RGBA functions that determine RGB value here with the alpha channel as well. So I'm going to have red color first, so 25500, and alpha channel for value for 0.2. Okay, so I'm going to repeat doing this. So we're going to have RGBA of the second color, that green color, to 55 zeros and 0.2, and the last one, so I'm going to have RGB here, A for 0, 0, and 2, 55, 0.2. So that's going to be my background color for each item in the pie graph. Okay, I intended to use pie graph for the demonstrations. Also, you can specify border color, but I'm going to just ignore it for now. But I will put border width equal to 2 pixels, for example. Now, once we have the graph data, okay, just review what we have here. We unpack the data from this original data here. So we have got two arrays. The first array will be used as the label for the graph. Then we have information of data set here is the list of objects. Since we only have one pie graph, so we have one object only that contains information of the label, data, field, background color, and border width. Now once this is defined, then the next step is we are going to also define our panel from our canvas here. So this is the canvas, so we have to use another local variable as reference called panel1 will be. Now we can select our canvas from jQuery ways by using $ function here, put chart1. So it's going to refer to any text that have the ID equal to chart number 1, which is this one. And then it's going to turn, say, hey, get the first element of this and turn it into a 2D drawing area. So we say 2D. Now, once this drawing area is ready, we create another variable called chart number 1, which is an object. Now, this object takes two parameters. The first parameter is the drawing area, which is panel 1. Okay. The second input parameter is an object. Okay. This object contains information of type of the graph, which is pie graph. The data, which is divided as graph data, and options. So this option here is going to be an object that contains a reference to maintain aspect ratio. Aspect ratio equal to 4. Now save it. Okay, so I'm going to show you what would be the output first. Okay, they say that I have an error on line number 120, which is the, okay, I might did not completely implement this in the correct way, so let me okay, zoom into graph data here. I have panel here, which is good. I also have the chart 1 equal to new chart. Panel 1 is the first parameter. The second parameter is the objects that have this structure, which is nice. So let me look at this one more time. This is going to be graph value here, and that's the end of the function. And this is the end of this, which is correct already. Now let me look at this one more time. What would be the error message? They say syntax error, unexpected identifier. Oh, so body width. So that means for body width that I divided here, I forget to put comma right here to separate these two informations. Okay. All right. Now let's see the output together. You can see that now this is the graph, okay, but the thing doesn't look right because it doesn't show the correct color. What if I put that's the reason, the background color, okay, and border color as well. So I'm going to duplicate. Okay, let's try this first to see just the background color will give us the correct color here. Okay, now the next step is we have to also put the border color here. So let's border colors, and let's change the number of this a little bit so it's become different color. 10, so 30, 40, and 100, 1. Okay, the border color will look like this. Okay, that's the border color. So you can determine the border color as you like. Now the only things that is missing is whenever I zoom into this, it doesn't show the correct name for this. Okay, the correct names, because when I send out, I just send the number only without the actual name. So that's why I think that's the output. Now when we look at this number one more time, the data that we get is in the format of this. Okay, right. So okay, but at least, okay, this is the idea of how you represent your graph, okay, using chart.js. Now to just summarize what we have done for this 3 video together. We first create data model for sale order. Then we go into DB context and then include this metadata here to say that we have a physical table names sale orders. Okay, and now we go to the chart controller and implement data functions actions that return a group of data for us. And we also formatted into the array of two arrays and the maximum value of this. And then we went into the folder views and create a subfolder chart. And in here we create the index.css.html. Over here we add a text. Okay, inside this tag we have the card structure. In the middle of the card we implement a canvas with the ID chart number 1. We also create the section script here. Section script, we add reference to use chart.js from the server. And then over here, we have a functions that register whenever the document is fully loaded. We say, could you please call function setup? Function setup, go ahead and set up the objects options that take types of the request, URL of the request, the content return type, and whenever data alive, this function will be registered to be called from this AJAX, and you can issue this. This is called request. Okay, HTTP get. Now, once data alive function will be called, and then we get data array number 1 and number 2 from it. We form the graph data here. The graph data has label. The data set itself is the set that determine the label, the data, the fields, background color, border width. Once the graph data is ready, then we reference to the drawing area, which is the canvas number 1 here. This is how we reference to it and turn it into drawing for two-dimensional graph. And then we create a new object called chart number 1 that represent our chart, that take the first input parameter as drawing area here. Second input parameter is the objects that have to specify the type of the graph, the data which is graph data, and the options. Okay, I hope that this video will be able to help you out to create your own graph in the future. Thank you for watching.